We respond to stranded sea turtles and marine mammals in the state of Virginia. Almost 500 animals a year we respond to. We have the opportunity in cases like this to be able to give back and be able to provide health and good fortune for these turtles and get them back in the wild.
I saw that they were releasing turtles into the ocean.
We had two different species today, loggerhead sea turtles, which is our most common sea turtle here in Virginia. And then the other species was the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. It's the smallest sea turtle species. And those are the most endangered sea turtles.
Why are turtles cool?
They are reptiles that breathe air, but that can swim.
These turtles are often here as a result of human activity, so it obviously feels good. You can see the excitement in the people that get to see it as well, and we feel that same excitement.
A few of the craziest things I've ever picked up in the trash was I picked up a whole 16-foot dock one time.
Bicycles, car bumpers.
Probably dumped a rodent, being able to see it through the camera running around in the back of the hopper.
And a 16-foot bass boat. The most distinct smell you will ever smell in your life.
It was horse manure all over the street. And that smell was so strong.
Raw food, raw garbage coming out of a trash can. You will never forget that smell.
A dead animal.
Compound chemicals and stuff that people use for building material.
The lady came out and she wanted to tell me how good a job we was doing and everything. And she gave me a book, and there was a picture of Jesus on the book, what he saw from the cross, and that's a great book.
They was appreciated because I'm a female out here. They said, "You go, girl."
We had a deaf resident that we were giving service to. She gave us a letter to thank us for our service. We've had a bunch of people thank us for it, but to take that time and know that she couldn't really communicate, but took the time to write a letter to us was very special.
Kind of lazy, so less than it needed to, and I would not have happy neighbors.
Probably every 2 to 3 weeks.
Probably not in our van.
Wow, that's a lot of trash to fit in the back of a pickup.
No, absolutely not. I just bought a new car, and I'm kind of a fan of that new car smell, so I wouldn't do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You guys are totally awesome.
Anybody that can do that type of job is very special.
Totally awesome.
The gift that Mary brings is the experience that she was a volunteer one time, then she became a part-time worker, retires, is going to volunteer once again. So it's a circle of community engagement.
People see me doing special things, and a lot of them end up volunteering themselves. Well, I do a lot of different type of volunteering in the city. One of the big ones is the VBV program. We start at the school year, usually in October, and throughout the whole year till, in fact, today was the last day for our VBV program. Today, both my kids just gave me a big hug and just broke my heart.
Mary Freeman's passion for volunteering is something she was clearly born with. She was in the military for 30 years, U.S. Navy, and every single port she had, she stopped to volunteer. She would tell me stories about volunteering in orphanages and holding babies, and then when she was done in the military and retired, she got bored, and her natural instinct was to find the Volunteer Resources Office. Mary Freeman, outside of her time working for our office, would fill her hours with volunteerism. She has been an avid volunteer and advocate for the Virginia Beach Clean Community Commission, the Housing Resource Center that's about to be built. Mary has been volunteering with that department for years and is going to help them start up their own volunteer program, working with our individuals in our community experiencing homelessness. And her passion just goes beyond city government. She has done so many other volunteer opportunities, working in her church as a food pantry volunteer. And one thing I love to tell people about Mary is that United Way Day of Caring happens every year with the city of Virginia Beach, and it's always on Mary's day off. But what she does is she comes in on her day off to serve our community with the city.
It's in my heart to be able to help others. I just love doing it.
I feel great. I'm graduating. All these 4 years have all paid off. I just can't wait to walk across that stage, say my speech, get my diploma. The day I found out my dad passed away, I was actually in my AP English class, and I got a call from the teacher saying that I had to go home early. I thought I had an appointment that I forgot about, but what happened was one of my dad's coworkers, a sheriff, was picking me up from school and telling me that my dad was in a car accident.
My dad, he worked for the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office. He worked there for 15 years. The day before the accident, he just got his 15-year service pin.
When I found out 45 minutes later at the hospital, I broke down in tears, and I thought if he waited one more year, he could have saw me graduate. But I know he's up there looking at me when I do walk across that stage, that he'll be looking down at me.
I want to take a moment to thank my mom, my brother, and my dad who's in heaven for their support.
Ever since my dad passed away, the Virginia Beach Sheriff Office has been a part of my family. They've took a huge step into my life, and they made me feel like my dad was still around.
We're lucky enough to be part of this young lady's major milestones in her life. I know during the ceremony for her dad that she made a comment that he would not be here to see her graduate, and we also knew that, and we wanted her to know that her family of blue would be here, and that's why we're here today. This organization promotes just that. We're part of one big, large family, and we're actually honored to be here.
A lot of us have done different things to help guide and mentor. I know that a lot of the Sheriff's Office took an active role and interest in helping Eddie's daughter. He would be very proud of the young woman that she has become. I am confident that he'd be wishing her well, and he'd be taking an active role and being very involved in what she would be doing in the future, helping to guide and mold her as she puts childhood behind her and goes out into the world.
I feel so lucky to have a sheriff's department by my side. Every challenge I face, I could always talk to them if I need help with something, especially with schooling, colleges. Without my dad, they wouldn't be by my side today. They have created such an impact in my life. They have showed me that anything is possible, no matter what challenges I face. They always made me feel like I can get through anything, that anything is possible if I want it bad enough.
Eileen Santo Domingo Lucero with honors.
I like to think that school counselors really do make a big difference in a lot of students' lives, because we're that person that they can come to for consistency and some structure, and we don't give up on our kids. They know we're going to be there no matter what.
we work with them throughout the years, whether it's in lessons, whether it's individual meetings with students. I know as far as myself, I pull up their data just to see where they are, whether it's academics or attendance. And we just try to stay on them to make sure that, you know, they have the grades. They're not missing time, because that is critical. And if they are, then we're hitting them hard, setting up conferences with parents, contacting the parents, meeting with the students as well as the teachers, you know, to make sure that they are in a positive light and they're getting across that stage.
The important thing is to identify which students just might need a little extra from us, and we try to concentrate on them a little bit more to make sure that they are successful and graduate within the 4 years. And it could be academics, students who have struggled academically. It could be students who don't come to school regularly that we know we need to kind of work with and make sure that we help them in that. It could be students with family circumstances that affect how they're able to focus in class, and those students we meet with on a more personal, individual level.
So sometimes it can be a little scary for the students when they first enter with us as a freshman. We see all types of issues with our students from a counselor standpoint, working with them with graduation, attendance, academics, etc.
So if there's a student struggling academically, we work with that teacher, we work with the parents, we do parent-teacher conferences, we do student response team meetings. We actually, just our office alone, did 150 student response team meetings this year.
I know for some of them it's a struggle, and I know also that some of them are like, oh, could you just leave me alone? However, when you step in high school or when you step in Bayside, you become our children.
I love when students graduate and then they call us afterwards and tell us what they're doing. Like when they come back from college and they're like, Miss Simba, oh my gosh, they gave me my own office and they're paying me. And I'm like, you're amazing, that's so cool, you know? And I just love that they want to tell us those things and that they still think about us in the years afterward, because I feel like that just, you know, goes to show that we did make a difference for them, and they're proud to come back and let us know.
I see them from 9th grade on to now, and that transition piece, and then some of my kids are crying, you know, and I know some of them are crying tears of joy. Some of them had a hard journey ahead, you know, from 9th grade into now. So to see them walk across that stage, it means a lot. As I mentioned before, they are my babies. They are my children. And I think the parents feel that way, and they know once they get to meet their counselors that that is the case.